Welcome to 241 Joe Live. I am your host, Donovan Thompson, with my other co host, Luke Irvin. Let me switch over real quick to my Nano. Luke, does that sound better?
Oh, whoa, there we go. Hello there.
There we go. Okay. Okay. Much better. I lost an
Yeah.
AirPod over my
Oh
trip,
no.
so I only have my right one. So, which is good because maybe the next Gen 3 AirPods will be announced today.
It seems like it's so because they all AirPods were on sale over the past weekend, I think. So
Really, of course they
possible we'll
were.
get possible we'll get new ones announced today.
Yeah.
I'm
I
excited.
have I lost the case to my original one, so I have them here, which I still love. I love these,
hmm
but I don't have the case for them. And now I have the Gen 2s and I lost the left one. So over the weekend. So it's been an
Hey, to
adventure with me and
me,
AirPods.
I love good audio and like my AirPod Pros are like one of the best investments I've made.
I literally use them more than I do
Ever like
anything
oh,
else
every day, yeah.
daily. I'm
Yeah.
like if I'm not, I mean, I really just I go to the grocery store with them. I go, I
Same.
mean,
Yep.
obviously the gym. I
Yeah.
drive around with them. Like, I mean, I go shop. I just shop with them in general. Like,
hmm
I don't. There's not a single moment I'm not. I don't have them in my ears.
Sponsor
Um,
us, Apple.
yes, sponsor us. Um, the weekend box office was kind of interesting. I was in
hmm
LA and I didn't think, I didn't think we'd be able to squeeze it in, so I didn't even count
hmm
on it. But I did see, like, as I walked across multiple different theaters,
hmm
Spider Man No Way Home, the More Fun Edition was out. And I was like, I see Toby and Andrew on the
Yeah.
poster in LA, and I'm like, oh, I could watch it right now if I could, if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But you watched it, correct?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it worth is it what, 9 minutes, 11 minutes? Is it worth it?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
I hear it's not like gangbuster. So like I hear like
It's definitely
example
not.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you care? Like, can I just share my?
Yeah, I
It's
don't care. I
in a
mean, I
way,
don't give a
it's
shit.
not. I don't know. I mean, you know the core of the movie, but really, what this does is it's closing out this trilogy. I think they do a fantastic job of really, um, because the second extra credit scene is just really nice. It's basically like this kind of recap of like what Holland's Spider-Man has been through in the past three films. So it's kind of closing out this trilogy. And
I
that's
hear
that's
that
basically
people
what it
call it
was.
the Betty cut, like Betty Brant. She's doing the
Yeah.
TikTok stuff,
hmm
and
Yeah.
I mean, I saw those TikTok marketing things leading up to the
Yeah.
movie, and they looked, like high school
Yeah.
things. I hear like they're just kind of interjected into the movie now, and it's kind of like I don't know. I mean,
I really I really enjoyed it. You know, you get some extra moments with Murdoch. The one thing that would have blown everyone's mind I was hoping for, but didn't see any kind of tease or anything. I was really hoping at the very end it would have shown like Spider-Man will return and Daredevil Born Again. I was hoping
oh
for that.
yeah,
And
that would have
I'm
been
still curious, because we know that these characters are together. So the question is like, once the Daredevil series comes out, will we potentially see Spider-Man? I feel like if they would have did that, like they would have broke the internet. But
it would
anyway, who
have
knows? And maybe they are.
yeah.
They're holding it to the chest. But I mean, there was no kind of like there was nothing within this that teases like the future of Spider-Man. It was just really just a proper closing of like this trilogy of films.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I know we're kind of, you know, pretty far out from Daredevil Born Again. I just have a hard feeling thinking that Sony would
Yeah.
allow him to be in a TV show, or Marvel would want to waste their crossover, credit with that. I feel like they
Yeah.
want to save him. I mean, obviously he's going to be at least in Secret Wars or
Yeah.
the Kang Dynasty or both. At least Secret
Mhm.
Wars. He might not be in the Kang
Hey,
Dynasty,
I'm
honestly.
sorry. I'm getting a lot of static.
Oh, here we go. Going
Here we
back.
go.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. The
You,
static is gone.
that's what's weird to me is that you like whenever I'm on this mic, you sound
hmm
so much better also. But then when I switch over, you
hmm
sound much different. It's such a weird thing. Weird thing.
Mm. It's
Anyway,
weird.
let's get to the box office here.
Sure.
Top Gun come back again. Originally it was reported Spider-Man coming in at number one. But nope. Top Gun took it back. So Top Gun Maverick came in at $6 million over the Labor Day weekend. Bullet Train came in at 5.8 million, and Spider-Man
Hmm.
came in domestically around five or so, but
Yeah.
worldwide it made 10 million worldwide,
Hmm.
and so it didn't really have a huge presence like maybe Sony wanted. They also didn't really promote this thing like that
Yeah.
well or that big or anything, so you kind of wonder why they brought it back. I was kind of assuming they were doing it to kind of push it past 2 billion, but
Yeah.
they didn't really try to spend the money to do that. So I guess they gave up
Yeah.
halfway through, or I'm really not sure what their plan was here.
I'm not sure because I took my kids to go see it, and the screening we were in wasn't that packed.
Yeah,
Like I
I mean
think all
six
in all,
million
there may
something.
have been like 10 to 15 people in the room.
Yeah,
Now a couple of other, and we also went like at like a dinner showtime, so that makes sense. Like while no one would be there, and I looked at the other ones and they seemed packed. But it also got, if you look in Arkansas, it was kind of like Razorback opening weekend, so I could
sure.
get like why movies wouldn't be that
Yeah, but I mean
busy.
even then, those $6 million open weekend, that's not nothing. Though. That's nothing.
Yeah, sure.
I mean that's a small weekend. So I mean, I'm surprised you saw a 10 in there, honestly, with those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I mean, I do hope they release it, like on a Blu-ray or
Mhm.
something, and I was kind of
Oh
hoping
yeah,
more for more of Andrew and Toby
yeah,
and more fight scene stuff at the end. Like that to me, that's
yeah,
what people really want. They want the cool
yeah.
moments. They don't want this
It's
unbelievable
no
scene
no
shit.
new fight scenes. Unfortunately, it's just more of the conversations,
Yeah, and that's the
and I
thing too.
really
Like
enjoy those. But yeah,
that's the thing. Like I feel like the movie that should be released in theaters is the director's cut. And I don't think
yeah,
John Watts had anything to do with this version. But it's just obviously more money they're trying to grab, especially after the scandal we reported on earlier this year with Sony like not having the deleted scenes on the Blu-ray. And then
yeah.
they promised that in the press release, didn't have them, and
Hmm.
they put out a whole new movie you have to go buy a ticket to go watch. So it's kind
Yeah.
of shitty.
So
Um,
I'm wondering if there's any other fight scenes where they're all like utilizing their web shooters together. Because like the only one we really got was versus Electro. It was like, hey, we
yeah.
got to team up and do this together. But I wonder if there was anything else where they did something like really cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, listen to this. I love the movie. I cried during
Oh,
it.
same. Yeah,
Best
yeah,
movie of 2021 for
yeah.
me. But
Hmm.
I still could sit here all day long and think of 10 times over cooler things they could have done together in
Oh
that
yeah,
final scene. Like there
yeah.
was even the final landing when they all land on the Statue of Liberty. It's
Hmm.
fine, but it's not that cinematic. Like you could have.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so many more concept arts of like
Hmm.
better shots of that shot,
Oh
and
yeah,
so it's like
yeah.
you kind of wonder sometimes their decision making. But there was also reportedly like concept art or leaked test
Hmm.
footage or something of Toby fighting Green Goblin,
Hmm.
and it's like how do you not do
I
that?
I
You
know
know,
we need
that's
we
where
need that. Um, yeah. So before we move on to Star Wars concept art for the upcoming Alien series, oh
I
yeah,
saw that.
that
I saw
looks.
that.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw that,
Very
and
excited.
I mean, I'm a huge Alien fan. Over the weekend, I went to the museum where they had all the comic or the
Hmm.
costume ready. Like I saw Toby's suit that he wore, and I saw Green Goblin's helmet that Willem Dafoe wore on the sets, and they had Alien. They had all the Alien
Hmm.
Queen and all the
Yeah.
xenomorphs from all the first four movies, and I mean, I'm just a huge fan, so
Oh, same.
I cannot wait for whatever that guy
Yeah.
does. I mean, Fargo, I watched, I think, the first couple episodes of that first season, and it's great, and they were critically
Yeah.
acclaimed. So I'm
Hmm.
very excited about that.
Yeah.
John Boyega on canceled Star Wars 9 with Colin Trevorrow. Of course, we know it's called Duel of the Fates. Some people are
Hmm.
reporting that you can't read the whole script online. That's not true. Actually, I have the whole script, Duel of the Fates,
Hmm.
and I've read almost all of it actually, and it is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Just because it feels more complete. It feels like it actually
Hmm.
continues off The Last Jedi, and it also has a better theme and message at the end of the movie versus what Rise of Skywalker tries to do.
Yeah.
Um, and overall, it's better, I think. But John Boyega on canceled movie. He says I can't read that one because I'll be heartbroken because I had to sit down with Colin. I want to tell you that's one of the best Star Wars meetings I'd ever had because it felt like two nerds that were like, yes, that's what we want to see. And I saw the art, Stormtrooper Rebellion. I was like, that stuff was cold. So of course,
Mm.
Finn really gets the shaft in
Yeah.
Episode 9. even in episode 8, really, but episode 9 he does because you kind of get sense that he's force sensitive, but in
Mhm.
the whole movie he's trying to tell Ray something. It's just really weird and really
It
messy.
is.
It's just a
Yeah.
weird decision. Why would you not? It's the last movie. Why wouldn't you like answer that if that's a question you're trying to pose, right?
Mhm.
And also, what a great idea having him like have lead a stormtrooper rebellion, right? Like that's
That
an
would have
amazing
been
idea.
awesome.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a great
down for
idea.
that.
It's a natural thing too. I mean, like
Yeah.
you have him be a stormtrooper that kind of wakes up in Force Awakens, which again it kind of implies he's special for some reason.
Mhm.
But there's just something there. I mean, like I don't,
Mhm.
it's like that's like the natural thing you go to, and it's as much as I do enjoy parts of Rise of Skywalker, just because like I'm a sucker for nostalgia and just
Sure.
whatever. It does really, it did not stick the landing overall, and like that's the end of like the main Star Wars
Mhm.
story with our favorite characters, and it's not the
Yeah,
greatest.
I know.
Ryan Johnson on planned trilogy. So he's been doing a lot of press for Knives Out, and he's been talking a lot about Last Jedi in the last week or so.
Mhm.
And he said, I've stayed close to Kathleen Kennedy, and we get together often and talk about it. It's just at this point a matter of schedule and when it can happen. It would break my heart if I were finished, if I couldn't get back in that sandbox at some point. So even him saying that now, it really feels like, they still have plans to potentially do this trilogy. And
Mhm.
it's really interesting. Like, it kind of felt like
Mhm.
for a long time that they were going to kind of next that because of the reception of The Last Jedi, whatever. But they always kind of
Mhm.
maintained that they loved working with him, and I believe that they did. Like, I mean, obviously
Yeah.
they wouldn't be. Even Kathleen has said recently about we love Ryan, we got to fit it into our schedule. We think 5 years
Yeah.
out, blah blah blah. And again, I like The Last Jedi a lot, and I think that especially when he's playing with that world with his own sandbox with his own characters, he might be able to do really well.
Yeah.
Um, and I like that movie, and I like almost all his movies. I love Brick,
Same.
Knives
Mhm.
Out. I like Looper. I don't love it, but I like Looper.
And yeah, Looper. I probably enjoy Looper more than Knives Out.
Mm,
I had a lot of struggle with Knives Out though.
really, I really like
Yeah,
Knives Out.
a lot of people do, but it's just like before the movie like really ends, like you still have I think good 20 minutes left. For me, it's like I instantly knew everything and it's like how is this going to end? And it's just kind of like I wanted the reveal at the end to be a little bit more than what it
Mm,
was.
gotcha,
Just
gotcha.
kind of very it just kind of like all of a sudden just felt very flat for me.
Sure, sure. No, I get that. I'm curious to see what the next two are.
I'm
I
very
mean,
excited for it. Yeah, for both of them. Yeah, they're
I
high
mean,
on my list to watch. So
they have huge casts.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Marvel, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, rumored to undergo more reshoots amidst complaints and difficulties with Letitia Wright. So apparently, there's more
Mm,
stuff happening. The rumors have heard complaints about the COVID vaccine are coming back up again, which who
mhm,
knows? And also, apparently, there might be some reshoots to kind of change the ending where she's not the final Black Panther, which is
interesting.
interesting. I mean, like it's her,
Yeah.
100% right now. It's her, but it is
Yeah.
interesting to see if they do change it one more time. We know she'll be Black Panther. We just don't know if she'll maintain the role going
Right.
into the end of the movie or just into the third film in general. But I just kind of suspect these are more rumors, and I think that she will be Black Panther going forward.
Yeah. That's what I'm expecting too.
Yeah, which I'm not a fan of. I don't think she should be Black Panther, but I'm gonna keep saying that over and over again until I'm proven wrong. But I just I like her being the scientist and the tech person,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah. It's yeah. I mean, it's like you think of like Spider-Man. It's like she's like the Ned. Like she needs to be the person in the chair, like building
yeah,
everything and helping out and assisting.
and not saying she can't fight, even though she really
Right.
can't, based on her actions in the first movie and even in Infinity War.
Mhm.
But it's like you're trying to fit like a square object to a peg hole or something. It's just like I don't know. I mean, obviously she's been trained in Wakandan ways, that kind of stuff. But I would
Yeah.
rather see someone that like M'Baku, who's kind of set up to be a leader in the first
Mhm.
movie, or
Mhm.
I mean, even more so, Chadwick's. I can't think of her name, but his
Mhm.
girlfriend in the first one. I'd
Yeah.
rather her be it than she's an
Right.
actual warrior, or
Mhm.
Okaya,
Mhm.
one of the Dor Milaje, like someone like that who actually feels like I don't
Mhm.
know. I feel like it's more makes more sense.
Like the Dormelage, like all of them become like Black Panthers. Like
Yeah, yeah. No one would stand a chance. Yeah, Be done.
Yeah, game over. Like,
Yeah,
just
done.
run away.
Dunzo. This is really interesting. This leaked. This like a refutable source that's kind of come out and said this,
Hmm.
and a list of Marvel actors rumored to star in upcoming projects. They're saying this is going to be announced at D23 this weekend, which we'll
Yeah.
report on next week. And
Hmm.
some of those actors are John Boyega, who we just talked about, Henry Cavill, Jodie Comer, Daisy Edgar Jones, John Krasinski, Giancarlo Esposito, and Denzel Washington. Everyone, of
Mm.
course, is saying Henry Cavill could be Hyperion, which is the Marvel version of Superman, basically.
Hmm.
Um, it's really interesting. John Krasinski, of course, would be Mr. Fantastic. Esposito could be, of course, Xavier. And I thought, man, what if Denzel Washington was Magneto?
Oh man.
Wouldn't it be fucking amazing?
That would be pretty cool. The Denzel Washington is super new because I saw this list. I guess I put it when it came out like a day or two ago. But seeing Denzel on there, like very intrigued, very curious to who he may play with Giancarlo. I mean, that's been kind of leaked out for a while that he had conversations, and he had. I think he said he had the interest to play Professor Xavier. So
I think it is
that's
weird though that he says he has the interest if he isn't locked down the role. I mean, like, and that was
yeah.
recent. He said
The
that, so I
question
don't know if
is
he.
like John Krasinski. It's very fascinating to see him on this list and like if he will be playing Reed Richards and like how much and like is it going to be in the Fantastic Four or is he going to show up in like Secret Wars or something else?
I think he'll be Mr. Fantastic. I don't.
You think?
Yeah, I think there's just kind of too much smoke. And again, with that Jimmy Fallon review he did
Hmm.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago, I just think that all signs point to if he wasn't Mr. Fantastic, and
Hmm.
after Doctor Strange, they were kind of like, okay,
Hmm.
we had to kind of reconsider him if they didn't.
Yeah.
I think the fan base was just too loud, and everyone loved him in
Oh
it.
yeah.
And I mean, he'd be a great job. He's a great pick for it. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
it's like how do you lose on that? Now Henry Cavill's interesting. Um,
Hmm.
it kind of, I think this does happen, and it kind of seals the deal that he's not going to return to Superman. But I could be wrong. I just don't see him wanting
You
to play
know,
Hyperion. I think that's just like
right.
I think he respects the Superman role too much to do that.
I would agree. And it's like, it's more so that he's rumored to be in the next season of Loki. So I'm kind of leaning like, is he going to be an well, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know who could be in Loki.
He could be Miracle Man,
Yeah.
which we're going to talk about here in a second. Or no, Miracle Man. Sorry, Wonder Man
Wonder Man, yeah. Hmm.
could be him. Jodie Comer and Daisy Edgar Jones. Obviously, either one could be Miss Fantastic, the
Hmm.
Invisible Woman. John
Hmm.
Boyega. I'm not quite sure who he could be. Be in any number of people. I don't really, again, suspect that we'll have too many. I don't know. I kind of suspected we were originally gonna have like an X-Men movie or something,
Yeah.
and I think we'll probably announce it, like what the X-Men movie
Hmm.
will be
Yeah.
this weekend before Secret Wars. But you also kind of wonder maybe that's what Phase 5 is, or Phase 6
Hmm.
is like the mutant saga or something. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's also like with this cast, who are heroes, who are villains? Like,
Yeah. Again, I
curious on
think
that as well.
seeing Denzel as Magneto is just like such a solid grab. Like holy
Yeah.
shit, that
Oh
sounds
yeah.
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
He did a great job too.
Hmm.
Um, Chadwick Boseman wins posthumous Emmy for What If. You
Hmm.
know, we know that he was nominated a while back, and it's interesting to see him win. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is a more like a legacy win. Like I feel like he got it because he was Best Picture nominated for Academy Award, and obviously he's a huge
Hmm.
part of that movie. He's the main
Hmm.
character. And then he wins for this. I'm not sure that I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's more of an honorary thing than actually something that
Yeah.
he's. I mean, he did great. I think he did a great job
Yeah.
in it. Did he do that good of a job? I don't know, but
Yeah.
but also like all this stuff's subjective anyway. Might as well give it to him because he seems like a great
Yeah.
person. So I don't
Yeah.
or so I'm not. I don't care too much.
Hmm.
So Michael Waldron, the guy who wrote Doctor Strange 2, he said he always wanted Reed Richards in the movie. He said that in his first draft, he wrote a tag just for the hell of it of the events of the movie being recorded and reviewed by somebody in the Baxter Building, and a stretchy hand coming into frame to run it back. So it kind of always seemed
Mm,
like they had plans for Reed Richards
mhm,
early on, or at least someone did. They wanted him in the movie, and it's
mhm.
cool that they actually got him in there again. Originally, I think it was who was going to play. I think it was um, Bruce Campbell was going to play Balder the Brave. Was going to be one
Mhm.
of the people on the council or the Illuminati, and of
Yep.
course that was like a late addition, having Reed in there with specifically with Krasinski. And that, I think a lot of that
Mhm.
come from the WandaVision rumors.
Mm.
So it's interesting, and I don't know. I mean, well, all these things we're asking right now, we'll know in the next 72 hours. I think
Should, yes.
we should hopefully, and I mean, I think 100%. They've announced Fantastic Four the movie, then this is
Yeah.
all they're gonna want to like bolster their stock prices this weekend, and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
obviously they had a huge Comic Con, tons of announcements, like the most we've had in years, bar none. But they're gonna want to like kind of go a little deeper into some of those things. They'll probably want to show. I don't know if they'll show Black Panther. They might show Guardians, but like typically they don't show
Mhm.
footage of this thing. They just have announcements.
Mhm.
And if you remember the
Yeah.
D23 we had like 3 years ago, it was huge. And
Mhm.
they announced a lot of movies, at Comic Con. I think this year they're going to announce a lot of TV shows
Mhm.
at. So I think we could maybe X-Men will be TV shows. I don't know. So
It Yeah. Yeah,
good.
who knows? I mean, it's yeah, what are we I feel like, pretty confident we'll get Fantastic Four cast,
Oh, I
and
100%
that's,
think so.
like, really what I'm looking forward to.
I do like the idea of Jason
Um,
Segel being a thing. I kind of want it to happen. I just something
yeah, I'm
about
down
it.
for it.
I
I'm
just
Yeah,
like it. I don't know. There's
yeah.
something there. I just like I keep
Mhm.
getting drawn back to.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so, Wonder Man, Disney Plus series will see Ben Kingsley return as Trevor Slattery, which I'm
I
always
saw
down
this, yeah.
for more Trevor Slattery. He was great in,
Yeah.
obviously when I first saw him in Iron Man 3, I was like just destroyed. Like I was like,
Yeah,
how could you do this to the Mandarin? But
right.
obviously since then they've kind of fixed that and corrected that in some ways, and
Yeah.
seeing him pop up in other things has been really fun and a treat, and it's
Same.
cool to see Ben Kingsley get to keep returning to this role, and everyone seems to really
Mhm.
like him. So I mean, I'm
Yeah,
down for it.
yeah.
I mean, Wonder Man is, I think, he's an actor, I believe, or he's
Mhm.
a guy trying to be an actor or something, and
Mm,
so it makes sense that Ben Kingsley's also involved, who's also, as the
yeah.
what was it um what did he say he was? I can't think of it right now, but the toast of Croydon or something. Um, whatever it was. So let's hop over to DC real quick. So we're going to kind of have a shorter episode today, everybody. Warner Brothers back to searching for head of DCEU. Producer Dan Lin passes on the role. We reported a week or two ago that Dan Lin was
Mm,
up for the Kevin Feige like overseer of the DC universe. Warner Brothers stocks have dropped 50% since the studio merged with Discovery. And
mm,
the reason apparently why this fell through is that Dan Lin has his own production company for film and television called Rideback, and he was hoping that it'd be kind of like absorbed in, but also like kind of keep the employees there, and he would have some type of like equity or stock in the
mhm,
company. And I guess that the negotiations fell through with that. So um, yeah, apparently they're already searching feverishly for another potential candidate, and they already have a few people, you know, eyeing for that
mhm.
role.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, okay, here we go again. Like,
Wow.
as of right now, technically, I mean, even though they have announced Batman 2 and everything's okay, it's still not officially greenlit. Like, I don't think it's
Yeah.
officially greenlit. And like Joker 2 is the only movie that's officially greenlit at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
It's
Um,
wild.
it is wild.
Do we have a list of, anyone else that could be up for the role right now? Do you
There was
know?
some people that were like I saw that they had talked to that passed a
Mhm,
couple days ago, but I
mm,
don't know who's new that we haven't heard about that they haven't talked to yet.
mm.
I'm sure there's tons of people that we have no idea even their names that it's been going
Yeah,
through the halls, But
yeah.
again, I'm much cheaper than Dan Lin, and I probably have just as good as I did as him. I just
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm just sitting here in my
I
closet.
Right?
Mm-mm-mm.
Why hire just one person? You can hire
It's true.
5 of us and,
You could
like
hire a team of us.
yeah,
It'd be easy, and we all five be cheaper than Dan Lin.
right.
You know, we
Exactly.
don't have companies that need to be absorbed into your other company. It's fine.
We
Um,
just
uh,
have
Yeah,
ideas and a
I will
vision and
I will
dreams
delete the
and
2-for-1 channel and all its content to get hired on as the producer. It'll be the fastest deletion ever in YouTube history. But here's the cool thing: The Rock surprises fans at Black Adam test screening. This is the first. It was a really small test screening, probably about 25 people, and it was the first time The Rock said that he's seen the movie with people, and
wow.
he was there with them, and they didn't know he was sitting right next to him. And he got up, he's wearing a COVID mask, and he reveals
Mhm.
himself, and essentially, it's hard to gauge those kind of things because I would
Mhm.
have loved to seen their reaction before he revealed himself, but
Yeah.
as soon as he takes his mask off, I watched the video.
It's
It's like, oh my God, The Rock's here, and it makes the movie go up like 20%, like
yeah.
automatically.
Yeah.
Makes your experience like 10 times more. And even
Yeah.
just seeing a test screening, I feel like the mystique of like I get to see this movie early. I know things
Mhm.
that you don't. It automatically makes it kind of like a little better in some regards, and not all the case.
Right.
Some people are just very honest, but I don't know. That's kind of my take on it. It
Mm.
makes it a little more special. But he asked them what their favorite parts was, and of course they responded him and like how he's taking ownership of the role and he's like separate from the actor persona and he's like actually a
Mm.
superhero on screen. And of course he asked them about the ending and they said that it blew us away and we didn't know what to expect next. So like obviously
Mm.
they're trying to tee up like you have to watch this movie
Yeah.
to see where we're going
Yeah.
with the DC universe. But again, it's kind of hard to get a little excited about this just for the fact that we don't know the state of
Mhm.
the universe. Like, we know Shazam, Aquaman's coming
Right.
out. We don't, Joker and Batman are not connected, at least as far as we
Yeah.
know, which I don't think they are. Um, I don't think Wonder Woman 3 is even a thing at the moment, even if they say it is. So I don't know, man. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
I I'm very I mean,
Oh,
it's like
and the
you just
Flash and
in the
Batgirl.
Flash, it's like yeah. It's like yeah, Batgirl was canceled and reportedly deleted. We believe that the Flash will come out. It probably will. All
I
these
think
other
so.
the two other films got pushed back, and then it's like everything else is just kind of like in a writing state. Like, but will we get it? We don't know
I don't know either.
because they
It's
canceled DC fandom this year.
They did. I should have put that on there. Yeah, they did,
Yeah,
and I was kind of expecting it because we're already in September.
yeah,
We've had no information about it yet. But also,
yeah.
like, if they had dropped it, it would
Hmm.
have been the same. Like, A, they deleted Batgirl. They can't show nothing from that.
Yeah, like
It would have been the same movies from the last 2 years.
right.
It would have been
And
no new
how do you
movies.
compete? Yeah, how are they going to compete with like D23 and that noise that's going to happen? Like
They can't,
it's just
and
I think people it's just at this point no one's really going to care, especially if you're getting like you said if we're getting the same stuff we've seen over the past 2 years.
it would have been less stuff because we would have had one less movie. Blue Beetle would have been new. But we would
Yeah.
have, and they could have showed stuff from the Flash finally, or they could have showed Aquaman footage or Black Adam
Yeah.
footage. But we've seen all
Shoot,
that footage.
show us Keaton footage.
Show us what? Oh yeah, I
Keaton,
mean,
you know?
obviously, yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like, and even in the TV, there's less TV shows now than there was a
Yeah.
year ago, 2 years ago, and there's
And
less
how much would
everything.
that potentially help their stock, right? Could have hurt it.
I think it would have cost more money probably doing it than they. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, I think sh- showing Michael Keaton in any form would have helped something.
Yeah.
But it's also weird to show Flash with, especially with, I mean, they've
With
talked
what?
about it with
Mhm.
Ezra at the moment. They still have to let that cool down, like,
Yeah.
let
Mhm.
that kind of see what happens with that. But I
Yeah.
hope it's something they do, if not online next year, but it's something they do in person every year. I think that's still
Mhm.
it's still cool. I mean, I mean, we did a whole episode on they shit the bed with these or
Mhm.
with Comic Con this year. Like Black Adam and Shazam just can't carry a whole
Mhm.
con, especially when you
Yeah.
have I mean, that's the thing. Marvel just comes out and just announces movies, and it's just like, and we believe they're going to come out because they do
Yeah.
typically. Very
Yeah.
rarely they'll change. They might change a title of something or whatever. Like
Mhm.
Agatha going from House of Darkness to like Coven of Witches or whatever it is. But
Mhm.
we still get the idea of like, okay, these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Um, just a different. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
they're trying to fix
Kinda
this, and that's what
yeah,
we're
they
looking
gotta
forward
fix
to.
yeah, they gotta build the trust and the confidence up.
Yeah, but I hope it comes back, and I hope it's a in-person event, and I hope it's as big as
Yeah. I mean,
anything
it's
Marvel
one if it's
Rivals.
I don't know if these how open these are to like public per se, but these are events I would love to attend.
Yeah, I mean, and they said that they're not doing it because they want to go back to in-person events. And
Hmm.
but then again, if you have a banger Comic Con, you don't need that though. I mean, it was kind of supposed
Hmm.
to be like an intermediary Comic Con during the pandemic, but I don't know. I mixed feelings on it. I liked the idea that it was. I liked it personally. I thought it was
Yeah.
cool, and I liked the virtualness of it. I liked that I could sit home all day and just and log on the
Hmm.
schedule, and I liked all that. I
Hmm.
felt like I was
Yeah.
included on this big thing, and
Hmm.
I enjoyed the last 2 years personally. So I was excited to see it go. Um, this should have went down, I guess, but Batgirl, Brendan Fraser gets standing ovation for Well.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty excited for that. I think is it Darren Aronofsky who's directing this
Hmm.
movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously he's transformed for this role, and he had a
Hmm.
6 minute standing ovation, and I'm pretty
Yep.
excited
Yep.
to
I
see this
saw the
movie.
clips when that
There's
broke.
already yeah, there's already some Oscar buzz regarding
Yeah.
his performance, and he
Hmm.
did talk about Batgirl cancellation as well, and he was said that he loved Leslie and she
Hmm.
did a great job. He loved the directors, and he's looking forward, and not looking backwards.
Hmm.
So he had a very diplomatic
Yeah.
response. But also the star Blue
I would.
Beetle,
I just want to hear like if he got any interaction with like um
Michael Keaton.
Keaton and just seeing him as Batman
Yeah,
like that. If I was in Brendan Fraser, like I'd be geeking out. Like, how can you not just? It's got to be the coolest thing ever, right?
I know. I mean, can you imagine making a movie with Michael Keaton as Batman and then showing up to work and then it's deleted? Can you imagine that? And not by accident, like on purpose. Like your boss deleted it on purpose. Like that has to be a wild feeling, personally. I don't know.
I
That's
wouldn't
pretty
know how
wild.
to like process that
It would
because I would I
if you
would
had
be in
yeah, if you had any faith in the
it.
system at that point, it would totally shatter your belief in that system. Which and
Yeah,
Hollywood's
I would
a
be.
hard pill to swallow anyway.
Yeah, the motions would be everywhere because it'd be
Oh
like
man, dude, I'd fucking
confused
cry, dude.
and frustrated and just disappointed. Like, yeah, like how do you process all that?
Dude, I'm not a drinker, but I'd fucking cry and drink that night. Like, I just it'd
Yeah.
be fucking over for a couple days for me. So
Mhm.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lay down for a minute.
Yeah.
For a minute, I'd be really upset. I hope at
Mhm.
least that they should have like a tell-all. I mean, maybe they don't
Yeah.
want to because they don't want to, you know,
Mhm.
stop the chances of it coming out someday. But like they should, kind
Mhm.
of like Zack Snyder, at least, not even like cryptically, but just be like, hey, here's what the movie, here's what happened, here's Michael Keaton's role in it, blah blah.
Yeah.
And also, they had to take more pictures than what they released on their phone. They had to have. So I'm hoping that there's some more out there.
Okay.
um, Star of Blue Beetle, can't say his name. I don't want to butcher it, but he's also the star of
Yeah.
Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Which is coming out soon, new season.
This weekend. I'll be watching it.
Yep.
He says on Batgirl, it obviously feels very close, right? Warner Brothers and Beetle, but I think everything that has to be said on that topic has been spoken from those involved. I think the creators and Leslie said everything that had to be said about it. So he's obviously being diplomatic about it, and he has to because he doesn't want his movie to be canceled. And I don't think as of right now it will be. I think that they can't afford to cancel two of those.
Yeah.
And also, like, again, early on this summer, it was an HBO Max movie, and they announced early on that while production started, hey, we're jumping into the theater. So like, they saw something in it that they didn't see in
Mhm.
Batgirl. I don't know.
Mm.
Again, Michael Keaton as Batman is enough to jump your movie to theaters no matter what. But that's just
Right.
me talking. If
Yeah.
you're gonna have him in a comedy that's like it's nothing to do with DC and be like Michael Keaton shows up dressed as Batman and you should get a theatrical release. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
it should
Yeah.
happen. Um, Talking about the suit, he says every time getting in the suit, I get so giddy. The thing is sick. It's awesome, and being in it is even cooler. I'm really excited for everyone to see everything that the suit can do in the movie. I mean, just we've seen set photos of the suit. It looks pretty cool,
Mhm.
just without any
Oh yeah.
CGI touch-ups, and
Yeah.
he's a cool character. So I'm excited to kind of see that movie. And again, it's weird we're getting. I mean, I know that these things were made after Man of Steel and after Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
Aquaman, Batman, but it's weird we're getting these kind of movies, and we don't have any type of announcement on Man of Steel 2 yet. So
Yeah.
um, it's really weird, and
It
I'm
is.
very curious to see what they do.
They gotta have
Let's
a plan.
they've got to.
Mm.
Well, they haven't yet, so maybe they don't have to. Um, let's wrap this thing up. So, Beverly Hills Cop 4 begins shooting with Eddie Murphy returning as Axel F or Axel Foley. I'm super excited for this. I think it might be coming to some streaming service. I know
Mm.
coming to America, come to Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
as well as maybe he had. I thought he had one other movie that he had done that come to. Oh,
I thought he did.
he did the Netflix movie with shooting of the wasn't Black Dynamite. It was that
Oh, I
you know
know.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
I
where he was the
remember.
actor, the director. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't think
yeah.
of the name of the movie, but it was basically the
Mhm.
black exploitation films, like kind of like the
Mhm.
not start of that, but kind of like
Mhm.
a certain point in time in that, and that was a really good movie too. So I think if you like Beverly Hills Cop like I do, those first two movies are great. Three is not good at all, but one and two are amazing '80s movies, and seeing him return back into the role is going to be pretty special. Have you
I'll
seen Beverly
go.
Hills Cop one and two?
I've seen 1. I'm pretty sure I've seen 2 as well. I don't know if I've seen 3, but it's been a minute, so I
Three's
wouldn't
not
mind
good.
going,
Yeah.
revisiting. Yeah,
They
that's
just
what I've heard.
recently re-released all three, or I think all three of them. Mainly just the first one, maybe, or maybe one and two, maybe not three, but they
Mhm.
on 4K Blu-ray. So something to go out and look for if you don't own them and watch them. They're amazing movies, and it was the absolute height of Eddie Murphy's career
Oh, yeah.
was those
Yep.
two movies.
Mhm.
And it's cool seeing them come back. Of course, Coming to America for me too was not great. I mean, it just
Same.
I was
Yeah.
really like, the
Very
first one is
disappointed.
like one of my favorite movies of all time. And the
Agree.
second one was just like, oh
A
man,
letdown.
it was,
A little bit of a letdown.
So I'm really hoping that they do well in
Yeah.
this one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was a Beverly Hills Cop show, and I can't think of the actor's name, but the guy who did Booty Sweat and Tropic Thunder. He was playing
Mm.
Axel Foley's son, and they shot the
Mm.
pilot already. Like, this is like 3 or 4 years ago, and
Mm.
but the pilot tested so well, and everyone loves seeing Eddie Murphy back. They like, fuck it, we'll make the movie again. Like this movie's been on and off so many times.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Uh,
I'm curious to see what they do with it.
Make it happen, y'all. Make it happen.
Yeah, my favorite pitch of that movie was he comes back to Chicago from Beverly
Mhm.
Hills, and it's
Mhm.
called Beverly Hills Cop, but it's like he's used to the Beverly Hills way, and he's back into like Chicago when it's like snowing, and he's got to like
Mhm.
kind of get back to his roots, which I
Yeah.
love, like more hard edged cop, and I love that idea, like a reverse
Right.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first movie.
I like
That was
that. Yeah.
uh,
No, I need to go back and watch 1 and 2 for sure. Should
they're
revisit
they're
those.
they're fantastic. Um, Miguel Spapnik, co-showrunner of House of Dragon, he leaves the show after airing a third episode. So the showrunner, we've down to one showrunner now. Apparently, Sapenick decided to move on after pouring an exhausting 3 years of effort into the project. Co-creator Ryan Condal will now serve as the show's sole showrunner and continue to work closely with co-creator George R. R. Martin. How do you know? I mean, it's also one of those things like I get it. It's a lot of time and effort. You miss your family,
Mhm.
all these kind of
Mhm.
things. It's also unusual that this kind of thing happens when you're on arguably the biggest television show of
Mhm.
all time. Like,
Yeah.
like in terms of like property. So I just always kind of wonder, was it what else is the reason? It can't just be like
Yeah.
that. There has to be some creative stuff here.
There's yeah,
Maybe.
that's what I was just thinking. There's gotta be some creative differences they're just not sharing, and,
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Question is like
curious.
how if that is going on, how is that impacting the rest of the cast and crew and
And well, how does it impact? I mean, I think season one obviously is in the can already. We've got season two
Mhm.
announced. And you wonder how does it affect season two? Because even if
Yeah.
this other guy Ryan Condal is the man, like he's the one that's been steering the ship. I think it's good to have
Mhm.
two people, at least two showrunners like that. And not always the
Yeah.
case, but it's good to kind of have that push and pull. It's good
Mhm.
to have arguments on this kind of stuff and defend your
Sure.
reasoning why we're doing something. So I think
Yeah.
it's I
Have,
don't know. I'm curious.
have you been watching this as well as have you watched, Rings of Power yet?
I've caught up on everything, and I'm actually in the middle of Two Towers. I watched Fellowship of the Ring last night, and I'm exactly halfway through Two Towers. So I'm
Mhm.
like rewatching Lord of the Rings also, and because
Okay.
it kind of got me excited about it. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was fixing to ask you. of the two shows, which one's your favorite so far?
I need to play some catch up. I've just been really busy. So House of Dragon, I've only watched the first episode, so I
Okay,
got some catch up to do, and I haven't. I do want to sit down and watch the Rings of Power, but I'm the same. Like it's been probably well over a decade since I've watched Lord of the Rings,
really?
and I've also never watched the extended cut. So I've it's on my list to eventually sit down and watch
Yeah.
those again.
Well, I watched the extended cuts, and the first time I've seen them in over a decade. Last Thanksgiving, I watched all three of them,
Hmm.
and I think after watching those, I prefer the theatrical cuts
Hmm.
personally. Like just
Hmm.
watching it last night, I watched Fellowship of the Ring, and then I'm halfway through Two Towers. They're three
Hmm.
hours versus
Yeah,
three and a half, 340,
three. Yeah.
and so I'm enjoying watching them again. Like
Hmm.
I think I'm enjoying them watching them right now more than I did Thanksgiving. That was the first time I saw them in 10 years.
Wow.
It was way before I was in film school. You know, the last time I saw them, and I if I could only watch one of them right now, I would pick probably House of the Dragon.
Okay.
Just because I think I enjoyed that kind of fantasy more, where it's more
Gotcha.
political, it's more
Yeah.
realistic, and I think
Yeah.
I understand the rules better.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
understand the rules of. I think Lord of the Rings is a little too. Got a really rich mythology, but I think
Mhm.
it might be too rich for my blood, and
Mm.
and a little hard for me to wrap my head around.
Gotcha.
Um, so I think, but I do think though that Rings of Power is bar none the best looking show I've ever seen in my life, bar none.
Gotcha.
And as it should, I think every episode costs like roughly 35 million dollars for this first season, which is
That's
crazy. So
wild. It's just
yeah,
wild.
500 million for 8 episodes. So yeah,
Um, that's just nuts. One more thing before we wrap up.
hmm
Do you have Paramount Plus?
of course.
I don't know if you noticed. I saw that it went through an update recently, and so they've brought Showtime series and movies over. So instead of like,
I heard it
you know,
happening. I didn't know it actually went through already, but
yeah, yeah. I just noticed that. Like now, if you go into Paramount Plus, there's like a hub section with Showtime. So a lot of their popular stuff. Now, granted, it's not everything. There's still some exclusive things that you have to pay for Showtime, but a lot of stuff did carry over. So I know Joel's been like, "Werewolves Within." If you got Paramount Plus,
ooh,
you can watch it now.
oh, I guess I gotta watch that movie. I have no
Yeah,
excuses,
I
you know.
I know. Same. I've just been slammed with work, but I do want
I
to sit down
know.
and watch it. So try to
Maybe
get
I'll
to it.
watch it this weekend. Maybe I can bribe Joel to be on next week, and I'll say
Yeah.
I'll watch. We'll talk about Werewolves Within if you can be on
Yeah.
next week. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm curious to what happens with Rings of Power and House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
I'm really liking House of the Dragon.
Okay.
I like the time jumps, everything about it. I'm
Mhm.
really liking. So here's our Blu-ray releases for today that come out, or actually come out yesterday. Sorry.
Yeah.
Our only new release is Minions: Rise of Gru. I have not seen it yet, so if you want to go check it out, do that. And of course, we have the first six original Star Trek movies releasing on 4K Blu-ray. You can buy the giant big collection, or you can also buy the sweet-looking individual package copies. We also have Blowout from 1991, The Funhouse, 310 to Yuma. There's a steelbook for that. It looks pretty dope, starring Christian Bell, 2007. Of course, we have
Mhm.
I think they're re-releasing the Halloween Kills steelbook, and then they have a Quiet Place, the two movie collection. Which don't buy that because they're making a few more Quiet Place movies and wait until you can buy all of them at once. I
Right?
don't. I hate the intermediary collection shit. It
Yeah.
pisses me off.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, that's what comes out. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Luke, how can our listeners find you and all the cool things that you do?
Yeah. Check us out on Agents of Mace on whatever podcasting streaming service you use. Currently talking about She-Hulk, and I'm sure we'll be talking about D23 as well. So we may have a bonus episode coming out soon. And you can occasionally find me on youtube.com/Luke Irvin, where I mostly talk about movie reviews. I may, depending on my time, throw out a tech-based review because we do have Apple's event today where they're announcing the new iPhone, new Apple Watch, and maybe some other
Mhm.
products. I don't know yet. I'm curious to see what all they reveal today.
Yeah, I'm curious
I've
today
heard
too.
rumors of a new HomePod speaker, so I'm curious if they're going to announce that for like Christmas buys or if that's going to be like a next year thing.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be cool. Like kind of to compete with like the Dot and stuff like that, I guess.
I'm not sure, because I skipped out on the original HomePod, but I do use the HomePod Minis. But the rumor is they're working on another HomePod that's going to be something like in between the original and what we have now.
I don't even know if
Um,
I don't know what the HomePod is. Is it just like a speaker that goes in your living room and you can connect to
y-
it? Okay.
yeah, I mean it's basically their version of a speaker, but it connects with Siri, so it's everything from like you can pair it to like your Apple TV, and that's kind of like basically that's my current surround sound. Is I've got 4 HomePod Minis in my living room. So I use that for
Gotcha.
audio, and then you can use it as like an intercom system. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can put them out all throughout your house and sync them together and play music and podcast or
Wow, that's pretty
any of the
cool.
like Apple related things, which is
How
pretty
much is it?
cool.
How much does a mini cost? One of them.
Uh, are they may be 150, but they may be a little less. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Huh,
Looking it
a
up real quick.
piece? Damn. Okay. Maybe I won't have four of them.
100
Um,
bucks. 100 bucks.
damn. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's pretty cool though, and that's neat. So yeah, of course, I think our last pod was the Sandman part one. I believe me and Daniel still have to do the part two of the Sandman, talking about the rest of the second half of the season. And of course, we have She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, Andor's coming around the corner. Lots to talk about. And of course, we have Dr. Bruce Henderson coming back relatively soon to break down more movies that we think you find cool in the nerdosphere. Of course, if you want more podcast Super One or 2 for 1 Joe Live or other things on 2 for 1. Of course, you can find us at youtube.com/2for1 Studios, the best place to consume the content. Every subscribe and hit that notification bell will help us out tremendously, and we'll keep doing content like this. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We'll catch you next week, and we'll have a big show to do, and I look forward to doing that. Luke, thank you for being on, and I'll catch you later.
always.